enjoy this afterwork webinar brought to you by Compass Group, and this is broadcasted from Helsinki Music Center. My name is Mervi Kallio, and I have a great honor to host this event today. My main job, or my day job, is to work as a F1 reporter, so I usually travel around the world and interview the Formula One drivers. But today we are not talking about Formula One, we are talking about food and multi-services and the future in those businesses. As we all know, the world is changing all the time rapidly, and we need to find new solutions, new ideas, new ways of providing well-being for people and, of course, our planet as well. The target for today's webinar is to get and share fresh and inspirational ideas and provide the best practices from concrete examples. We want this webinar to be interactive. We want the feeling that we are sitting everyone in the same round table discussing together. So please use the chat tool for commenting or sending us questions or just talk with each other. And most of all, we want this event to be relaxed. So take a drink, sit back and relax. But let's get this webinar started. I would like to welcome on stage Hannu Rahnasto, Managing Director of Compass Group Finland. Please welcome Hannu.
Thank you, Mervi, and thank you all. I think that we are around 100 participants at the moment online. Very happy to have you all there behind the screens, despite your busy schedules. We actually originally were thinking to have a physical event, but it's obvious that there's a lot of things and meetings and events going on at the moment, and we've thought that it's actually more flexible for you to have it online, and then you can even watch it afterwards. My name is Hannu Rahnasto. I'm the Managing Director for Compass Group Finland. Been in this role for 1 year, actually exactly 1 year just now. And my passion really is to renew the services for our clients in Finland, which we have many. And to do that, I actually think that the most important thing now to start with it is actually to renew our ways of working and build our Compass culture in Finland. And for that, we are actually just now having a Compass tour. That's why I have this t-shirt. And meeting all of our employees around Finland in 6 different cities. I never thought that I would do actually this in a client event, but this is why I got the t-shirt. Really a kind of a people type of leader in this people business, what we are doing here in Finland and globally. There's only a couple of things that I would like to highlight here in the beginning. And the first one is that I think that Compass is not that well known yet in Finland. We are a huge network of competence and people and ideas and innovations around the globe. And that's why I would like to present some ideas that what are the things that we could also localize and tailor-made for you in your business. Here's the agenda, but we will come back to that in a later stage. So just briefly about the Compass in Finland first. It's a family of food passionate people, 3,000 in altogether. We have some 500 units at the moment. We serve all different sectors in life, starting from kids and daycares, students in the university campuses, different kind of working environments in business and industries, and then also senior citizens in the elderly care homes, and we even deliver meals to home nowadays. And in addition to that, one of our key service areas are these kind of event places actually. It's a great honor to be here in the Music Hall right now. We just opened this in August. We also operate Olympic Stadium and for example, Finnair Lounges, Fair Center in Finland. So it's about daily services in daily life of people, but also lifting up the kind of a daily experience on Fridays and weekends in different event houses. Worldwide, we are a huge network of people, and as said, we operate around 40 countries. And what I would like to do is to bring closer all the ideas and best practices, and also people that we are very happy to work with our local clients in Finland. The vision what we have in Finland is actually to be a bold innovator and forerunner in sustainability. And these are the themes we're gonna present today and highlight some examples and inspirations for you. So would be very happy to continue after the event in our individual client discussions about these examples and see how we can work together and start some pilots. But with that, I would actually like to hand over back to Mervi and welcome you all once more. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Hannu. I need to ask you one question. How do you see the future? As we heard, everything is changing rapidly, and we all know that. How do you see the future and the current situation of your business?
Yeah, I get this question a lot nowadays because there's a lot of news and discussions obviously going on about the food prices and inflation, and there tends to be quite sort of a negative or even pessimistic views about the future. But the way we see it actually, that in this kind of a disruption phase, it's a great opportunity to also rethink how we work and what are the services for future. So honestly, I see actually much more opportunities than challenges. Of course, the environment is totally changed of what it was before COVID, for example. And it's not only COVID, but all the other things around us which are changing. But definitely see more opportunities there in the future.
How it is as a managing director? How do you encourage and how do you get your people to get inspired about these changes and like rethink and think a little bit out of the box as well?
Yeah.
Is it difficult or easy?
Definitely all starts from the people. And that's why we are now meeting each and everyone in Finland and also having sort of a good workshops internationally. Just had actually perfect workshop this morning. We are building a kind of also a Nordic innovation hub, and there's a lot of best practices that we can utilize also in Finland right away.
Wonderful, good to hear. But I think it's now time to invite another managing director. Yep. As you said, we are here in Music Center in Helsinki. The managing director of this place, Pekka Kauranen, please welcome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. As we are here, you can come and stand over here. Thank you. As we heard, we are here now in Music Center. You host a lot of events, many kind of events. What kind of event venue place is this nowadays?
Thank you for the question. I'm happy to answer it. But first of all, congratulations, Hannu and your team, to become a new partner in our house. A restaurant and catering services are very important for us when we are attracting our customers and try to keep them happy here. So it's very important. Nice to have you here.
It's been an honor.
Music Center is, of course, first of all, a house for two orchestras we have here, Radio Symphony Orchestra and Helsinki Philharmonic. They occupy about 50% our concert hall. But we have put a lot of effort to become a general event house. We have many premises in our house to serve companies for seminars, company celebrations, all kind of events for their own customers. And this is very important for us. And I'm sure that will be more important in the future as well.
Can you tell what is the smallest event you have organized, and then on the other hand, what is the biggest event you have organized here?
Well, of course, we have our concert hall occupying about 1,700 people. So when this house is full, we have the 17,000 people, and some of the companies, organizations have had their 100-year anniversary celebrations. And when there is a concert and after that a dinner for 1,700 people, I'm sure it is a challenge for every kind of companies like Compass Group. But we have been managing and we have that kind of big events rather often. I hope in the future more often. The smallest event, I would say that the smallest event is perhaps when the mothers are spending their afternoon with their new kids, very, very small ones, and enjoying our services in our foyer.
Oh, that's lovely. And now this has turned into be like a TV studio as well, so anything is possible.
Yeah.
How much do you discuss together when you are planning like catering for different kind of events? How much is it like offering the end client like a package that you have made yourself, tailor-made?
It's always a package from both of us. When we have a lead or to make a quotation, it always includes not only the room itself, technical services, but also the restaurant and catering services. It's always there. Not we only are there. We work together. They have the access to our customer relationship program. So more or less we are married together.
Yes.
At least the next 4 years.
Yeah, it's a great example, I think, about very tight cooperation where one is not able to succeed without the other. And there's a lot of different events. And I must say that actually myself and my family lives just a couple of blocks away. And even I didn't know before that how many different actually spaces and different kind of rooms we have here. So it's a very multifunctional space just in the city center. Great place to have venues and events of different sizes.
So it's
Thank you.
definitely a teamwork.
Absolutely, yes.
It is.
Hannu talked about the rapidly changing customers' needs and of course the developing technology as well, and everything needs to pay attention to sustainability as well. How is that resonating to Music Center?
Well, it is more and more in our everyday work. First of all, the rapidly developing technology. When we compare our events, let's say company seminars before the pandemic, I would say that 10% of those were streamed or broadcasted out. 90% were just the people here at present. Now it's vice versa. 90% are streamed out all over the Finland or Europe or the world. Only 10% are just people here at present. So it's a big, big change. And we have invested in that pandemic time very many thousands of euros for that streaming technology.
It looks
like
very professional.
Like
by the
this,
way.
like these cameras, they are our own property, and our own people are doing the work.
Yeah, and in such a short time you have developed all this, so hats off.
And the responsibility and sustainability, we have had a couple of years audited certificate of environment. It's very important for us. We have big list of things we follow that we want to have better figures next time when we audit. We will be audited by the certificate. We have put a lot of effort for reducing our carbon footprint. We have solar panels on the roof. We are producing our own electricity. Not all, of course, but say 10-15%. It's a big step in that direction. Our social responsibility is also very important. We are a public house. I want to keep it open. I would like to have it 360 days a year. But very important that we are open from morning until the evening. And the people can have small meetings here, they can work here. And of course that we can offer, let's say, the seminar and concert halls for people.
It's a good living room for citizens.
Yeah.
Very important for us.
That is what we need as well. Thank you so much, Hannu.
Thank you.
Thank you, Pekka. Thank you. As we heard, people's habits are changing all the time, and how can food and multi-service businesses meet all those consumers' needs? That is our topics for today. And I want to go a little deeper. Now we have 3 experts touching the topic from different angles. And at first I would like to invite Christian Funk, who is a Director of Client Success Europe and Middle East region, Compass Group. And he will have an angle for this subject, going around the world, across the world, and he will present interesting cases from different countries where Compass Group operates. So we have a little tour around the world. Please welcome Christian.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me here in Helsinki in Finland. Usually I work out of Frankfurt, and actually my role is to bring the very best that Compass has to offer to our clients across the whole of the Europe and Middle East region. So just to give you a glimpse of what we are as a family here in Europe and Middle East, we have 23 markets in that family, in more than 13,000 restaurants, 150,000 people. And we do both food and support services in that region. So I think the big benefit for us as a market like in Finland here is that we really share these best practices and are able to bring the very best of what we invent in Portugal to Finland or from Paris to Frankfurt. I wanted to start with a few trends that we see globally in the food industry. And maybe if we start from the consumers, it's all about convenience and comfort and control of what's happening. And a good example maybe is the whole digital experience that we are all used to when we go to a Starbucks restaurant and order a cafe latte, for example, via an app and pay digitally. And I know that in the Nordic countries that is even more common than in my country where I'm from, in Germany. In Germany, we are always lagging a bit behind with real mobile payments. We love cash for whatever reason. But this is really a mega trend that is happening not only in Europe, but actually globally. Then, of course, customization is, from a consumer perspective, all that matters. So the product, when I want it, what product I want it, and where I want it. So it's not, for example, in the food industry that we are most accustomed to, that at 12 o'clock lunch is served and at 1 o'clock we're done. It's more like 24/7 around the clock, the food, when I want it, where I want it, how I want it. There is also a very, very big topic around the whole sustainability, carbon reduction topics that my colleagues later on will also touch base on. Anything around plastic-free packaging, sustainable packaging, carbon reduction, what are the core levers? Very, very important. And also, it's important to give customers a nudge to something that is good for the planet, but also good for them, without really telling them what they should do. So a very big trend. And then, of course, the whole community building. So a company connecting the people within the company, but also connecting the company to the outside world around what's happening. So the local communities, that is really a mega trend that we see globally. And then maybe finally the biggest trend since thousands of years, enhancing culture, bringing people together with food. This is a theme that is from the ancient times still today important, and especially after COVID, it's really important to use food as one of the ways to bring people together and connect people to enhance the cultures. So, big question, of course, how do we at Compass address these trends? And I was asked to bring a few examples to showcase what we do for our clients. And I wanted to start in Sweden. The situation in that client was that we actually had a big restaurant already, but since the client's campus was so huge, it was important that we have more outlets where people can have access to fresh food, but don't have to walk the whole way to the restaurant. And the solution that we co-created together with our client actually is a 24/7 unattended micro market. So think of a couple of fridges which you can open with a mobile phone app, and then you take out what you want, and then you automatically get charged on your account with your phone. So it's really a digital experience to address that digital trend, but it's also healthy, grab-and-go food when I want it, where I want it, how I want it. And this is something that we believe is actually going to be a big trend also in other countries beyond Sweden. Second example is a bit related to that unattended model, but it's actually doing it on an even higher level. And the situation here was that the client wanted to have a 24/7 operated convenience store, so a bit bigger than what I was just speaking about from Sweden. And we came up with a solution that is completely frictionless. And this is one where we are really proud of, because this is the first store of this kind in the whole of Europe. And it's in Ireland. And the feature here is cameras will be tracking what you take out of the fridge, what you take out of the shelf, what coffee you take from the coffee machine, and also maybe what kind of bakery item you take out of the baskets. And then you basically just walk out of the store, and then you get automatically charged without any interference. So it's a really smooth and, well, actually frictionless experience for the consumer. As I said in the beginning, we are also doing facility management services, and this is an example of a huge client in Denmark. The situation here is it's a big building, and after COVID, there is not the same attendance of people every day anymore. So it doesn't make sense, for example, to do cleaning in each and every room every day, because maybe the room hasn't been used the whole day anyhow. And the smart thing that we again co-created here with the client is there are sensors across, for example, the kitchen, but also in the restrooms, and also sensors in the different rooms, which understand whether or not there needs to be some attention to that room or to that dishwasher, for example. And then there is a task triggered in the management system, and then someone that is closest to this location from our staff will take care of what is happening there. This is my favorite one. This is actually a football related example. So think of a halftime break, everyone wants to go for a beer, and then of course there is a huge queue. And to avoid that, there is a cool feature that we've co-created here with our clients in New Zealand that is delivered to seat. So if you have one of these membership seats that the football club is offering, you can actually pre-order your drinks, and then the drink will be delivered to your seat during the halftime break. And if you are not that lucky and you don't have a one of these membership seats, then of course you still can scan the QR code, you can still prepay and order the drinks, and then you just go to a specific pickup counter, and then you can also skip the queue and enjoy the rest of the second half. The final one is from Germany, and I already said I'm from Germany myself, and this is, I mean, of course, an engineering example. Germans are engineers, all of them. And this is a robot kitchen. So again here, the challenge is that a small office space needs a healthy, on-demand food solution, but in a healthy and fashionable way, something that is also coming across to clients, for example, that visit that restaurant that is innovative. And it works very simple, actually. It is, again, a digital app. You can pre-select any type of food. There are some examples here on the slide. And then a robot really, starts preparing your meal. And it works that the fresh ingredients are taken out of a certain part of the robot and put into these little rotating dishes. And then it's heated, cooked, prepared. And then after 4 to 5 minutes, you can get to your food and pick it up there. So it's also, given that there are 6 or 7 even different bowls in parallel, you can make sure that also a larger population is served with that technology. So just 5 examples out of many. I think I can talk to each of them for hours, and there are plenty more examples to share, but I think For now, I will stop here and hand it back to you.
Thank you so much, Christian. And please take a seat. Thank you. Christian already had a touch point on digitalization, which is of course a big factor in food and multi-service businesses. But now we will go deeper on digitalization. And I would like to invite on the stage Rickard Antblad, Chief Information Officer for Compass Group Nordic. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Can we cue the film, please? I'm supposed to have a film here that we're supposed to start with. There we go. Fantastic. Hi, everyone. My name is Rickard Antblad, and I'm CIO for Compass Group Nordics, and I head up the digital and technology function here. And I'm really, really happy to be here in Helsinki today in this fabulous music center. And this video was meant to show you, and I'm sorry about that technical issue. I probably pressed the wrong button. Not so good with technology always. But I hope the video gave you a glimpse into what we're doing with digital in our company. So Compass Group has been around for over 80 years, and our core business model hasn't changed much during that time, right? I saw this video some time ago, a video from the 1960s from a restaurant, a Compass Group restaurant in France. And there was a person who came in to our restaurant, took a tray, took some food, took a drink, took cutlery and a napkin. And then they pushed their tray along down to the cash register to pay. I think we've all done this, right? Many times. It still happens a lot today all over the world, all over Europe, all over Finland, right? But we started experimenting a bit some years ago, and then when COVID hit, we saw actually the need for accelerated change in our operating model. And digital has enabled us to identify new ways of working, new operating models, and now it's a key driver in fueling our growth. And we truly are growing. If you can see here, digital is really a right to entry with many of our clients today. Yeah, it's a critical item for us. If you look at the right of this chart, we have had incredibly new business wins over the past 2 years. Over 2 billion pounds per year. Or this is maybe says euros. I think it says pounds. It's about the same these days. It doesn't matter so much. But it's an incredible achievement. And basically, what we're seeing with digital is that it creates new operating models, new ways of working for us. It further enhances our ESG proposition as well. And Susan from our team, as Christian alluded to previously, will talk more about our sustainability agenda later on. And through the application of digital solutions, we are truly seeing more data points being established. We get more information, and this data and insight enables us to actually enhance our business. It becomes very important in our client partnerships as well, that we can show what we're doing, how we're working, and also, very importantly, how we can improve our service offering. And if we look at Compass Group, we are now in roughly 40 countries, and we share best practices. We innovate across the group, and it's not exactly the same everywhere, and that's fine. But to Hannu's point previously, we want to learn from each other, be inspired, and then reapply the best practice. Maybe in a customized way for the market to better fit the client needs, but this is really what we're about, and it is becoming a clear competitive advantage to us. The downside or the difficult part with all of this in the digital space is that customer or consumer expectations are not defined or set by us. Yeah, it's really set by the consumer. Our consumers, they are exposed to a vast number of services, solutions, digital apps or other solutions every single day. Everything is at their fingertips. And that's what we need to learn from and adapt to. And what we're seeing there, I actually had a look, and you might have a look at your phones later today. I checked, I have 151 apps on my phone. Yeah, it sounds crazy. 151 apps. Yeah, and when I go grocery shopping, I scan all the items myself and I walk out of the store. Yeah, when I flew here this morning, I checked in on the Finnair app. I got my boarding pass and I moved swiftly through security. This is the norm for much that is happening out there. And what we're doing in Compass Group, we are applying these concepts into our operating models and our ways of working. And the demand for service and ease of use out there is exploding, yeah? Especially with the younger generations. The younger generations, they don't want to stand in line. They want ease of use, they want service, and they want it fast. And they want it, as Christian was saying, when they need it. And they want to have the right thing at the right time. And we have many digital enablers. So I was talking about our global corporations, yeah? We definitely have the apps. You can order, you can pre-order food, you can order a dinner bag to bring home and pick up, to bring home to your family. We have the markets that Christian was talking about. We have other frictionless solutions, and I'm going to touch a bit more on them in a second, because I think it's pretty cool. We have the smart fridges, the first example that Christian shared, the Market 24/7 it's called. It's a great concept for specific cases. And it's really using the technology in a smart way. We also actually use digital in the more traditional things. You see some beverage dispensers, quite important, especially in the arenas. And we've used digital to enhance these dispensers, so you can actually pour 4 beers at the same time, which is great in an arena where everyone wants to pick up their beer in halftime. We also have the more simple things like the self-checkout. It's important, but it's using digital in a smart way. The robotics, another area, and you saw the cleaning robot, you saw the digital robotic chef. I mean, there are lots of opportunities in this area. We're still experimenting to a large extent, but many of these things are real, and we're doing them live. And we have apps in thousands and thousands of units across the world, and that is really what we need to find the right model for the right client. I wanted to share this example. You saw the frictionless example that Christian shared in Ireland. It's the one towards the bottom here. But above that, we have this is from the Leicester City Football Club, where we had a problem with the queuing in halftime, right? People don't get the beer or the food that they want or need. So we've actually built it like a corridor going through. You see, it's almost like arrows in the top left picture, yeah? And a person, a guest, they just tap their card, walk in, and they pick up any product that they want, and they exit the other end. Yeah. So traffic goes one way, they take anything they want, and then they're charged for whatever they pick up. It's a fantastic way to leverage technology in an enhanced way to get a better experience for the guests. And that's a little bit what it's all about. It's digitally enabled hospitality. Yeah, this is Cafe Next in North America. It's modular, and you would probably not put all these modules into the same place. But it's really about using technology, not for the technology itself, but to truly create digitally enabled hospitality. And that's the key. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Rickard. Please sit down.
Thank
As
you.
well, you really got me excited about this. I have to say. It is, indeed. But let's have one more topic and touch point on this one. A little bit same subject, but a little bit in a different angle. Nico Pulli, Chief Operating Officer for Technopolis, he will tell how retail business can make the real estates more attractive, since they have been building a new 24/7 shop in Technopolis. Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you. And good afternoon all. Thanks, Hanna, for the invite. Great to be here with you, and very interesting to see these very sort of inspiring speeches, how digital can enhance our lives. Bit scared of the 151 apps, though. I was just changing my iPhone. Spent this morning at the actual bank office, sort of, because the bank app was not functioning. So, I mean, in our business, I'm from real estate. We have offices, so and this one. So it's all about hybrid nowadays. So I guess, you know, there's so many ways of hybrid in this world, including the apps, and also the mention of using cash in Germany. So, you know, best of both worlds, I would say. My name is Nico Pulli. I'm the Chief Executive of Technopolis. We are a chain of smart campuses, business parks. We operate in 16 countries, 16 cities, and more importantly for today's topic, we have roughly 45,000 people working on our campuses on a daily basis. The company was founded 40 years ago, and the main idea already in 1982 in the city of Oulu, that's up north in Finland, was to create the village-like communities for companies. And the breaking features out of the whole new thing was the companies actually consist of employees, real people, an unheard concept of in real estate for many years even after that. But and part of this community thinking was the desire to offer the community everything it needed to enable the customers to focus on their exact specialty, sort of their core businesses. And we already started back in 1982 to combine offices, the actual real estate, and on top of that one, the services that were helping both the companies and the actual employees, the real human beings working for those companies. Of course, back in 1982, the services mainly consisted of copying services, compressed air. Not really sure who was using that and why, but compressed air was a big thing back in 1982, and some meeting rooms. But the sort of the key fundamental has remained from that time. All those services were driven by the customers. That's the first sort of an idea of a customer experience, customer understanding, customer intimacy for our company. For us, our business, this is a B2B business. We own, we operate offices, we have companies to rent them. But business to business is really, at the end of the day, it's all about us. It's all about humans, it's all about individuals. And we've seen in the last 2.5 years, in the middle of the pandemic and now thankfully after the pandemic, that the role of an individual employee, the satisfaction of an individual employee, that's extremely important, as it should be. As I said, our customers, we actually always call them customers, not tenants. Tenant is extremely sort of impersonal way, customers. And they consist of employees, and we always know and we always understand there is a human behind each and every decision that's also made at the companies. And understanding the drivers for individuals, that's why it's so important for us to be on the pulse of what is happening. And that's my cue for the retail we are talking about today. And B2C market, like retail, like food services that we're talking about today, that's really, most of the time, that's driving the innovation. On B2C, on retail, the idea of customer experience, that has been taking really far. And that's where we also try to benchmark our customer experience operations, and also to improve the attractiveness of our offering. And how do we actually adapt the B2C or the retail market to our business to business operation? First and foremost, we engage. We always involve the actual users in whatever we do. I mean, starting from the offices that we are building and renting. Especially now, it's a huge topic that, are people at the office on a daily basis? Are they completely remotely? Are there something in between? And our customers, the companies, of course, talking to us, and they are saying, how shall we actually make the offices so nice, so good that the people actually are happy to come back at the office? I think that discussion is over. I mean, we don't talk about that. Are people getting to the offices or are they staying at home? It's not black or white. It has never been. It shouldn't be. But the right question is that how the office should be built. How would it be designed to make sure that the employees of this exact company actually enjoy their work? How can they be productive? How can they help each other? And that all starts from the individuals who actually work in those places. So that's the engagement of the actual people, the individuals. We always need to keep our finger on the pulse of the customer experience. That's a direct link to the retail world. We speak to our customers. We have a quarterly customer feedback session, and actually the feedback we get, sort of the ratings. I mean, we are target-oriented company that loves to measure pretty much everything, and that's part of my bonus scheme. One of my KPIs is the customer satisfaction. We get reviewed on a quarterly basis. We ask the same for our partners as well. Our cleaning company gets reviews. Our catering, our restaurant partners get the reviews, and that's actually on a daily basis we get feedback on how happy the people are for our services. And that's also part of the structure, how we compensate our partners, all driven from the individuals, from the customers. And we've done this for 40 years. Doesn't sound like a rocket science if we compare this to the B2C, the retail world. But for real estate, this has been quite something for quite some time, and I'm extremely happy about it. At the end of the day, the target of this company is to simplify the everyday life of our customers. And how do we do that? I mentioned a lot about the focus on the real people behind the companies, and we listen to them, We hear them out. We build services that are actually tailored to the needs of our of the customers, the actual people, and we keep track on those B2C, those retail trends. We got amazing restaurants. Yes, we got some awesome Compass Group restaurants. Had my lunch today there. Enjoyed it a lot. Thank you. We got gyms, we got yoga classes, we got car washes, various events, hair salons, not applicable to me, but for many other people. And I think what was also mentioned earlier is that a direct kind of a feedback from the retail point of view, and that's for the sort of the change in the pattern of customers' behavior is that people no longer work from 8 to 4 in the morning, and we have our restaurants. They take a lot of space, and at the end of the day, they are open from 11 till 2. But you really can't tell the customers, the people, that guys, you're supposed to be hungry from 11 to 2. It doesn't really work that way. So what we are doing now is that we have this 24/7 market concept being piloted in our Ruoholahti campus, and it will also be featured in one of our Oulu campuses. And that's what we are doing together with Compass. And that's the exact thing that we are learning from the retail world. I mean, we see that something has been changing in the customer behavior. We understand that. We actually get the similar feedback from our partner, and together we have some actions to fit that need which is rising from the customers. Customer satisfaction, yes, and for us, I mean, the happy customers make sure that the companies also enjoy their time at Technopolis. And my last comment is that we need to learn. This is a continuous learning process, and I actually went one slide too far. I did pretty well with this up until now. And the sort of the teachings and for us the learnings of retail is that we need to have really to have our finger on the pulse to see what is changing, and then we have to adapt. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nico. It's not easy, I know.
I'm a guy, talking, clicking,
and clicking.
difficult.
No, it's not for me either. Thank you so much, gentlemen. We continue with you in a short while, and we keep discussion about the trends and rapidly changing needs. And I would like to invite on stage with me Anna Lumme from Compass Group Finland. And Anna is the business director for business, industrial and leisure operations, and in charge of retail business as well as at Compass. Welcome.
Thank you.
How are you doing,
Thank
Anna?
you. I'm doing okay.
Good, wonderful. How many apps do you have in your phone? Have you ever
I
counted?
haven't counted, but I hope not 151. I hope I have less, but let's see.
I felt like counting mine immediately, but I didn't have time yet. I do that later. But hey, Anna, how are things cooking in Finland? What's the hot topic at the moment, and how are you approaching it?
Well, first I have to say that I'm so excited because finally we have people moving around, going from places to places, meeting face to face, which is absolutely great. And for me, it's so nice when I go into a restaurant and I see people, eating together. I know that they're getting from us healthy, nutritious, rich, environment-friendly food, and just to see how they socialize and how they are, changing or talking about the world or businesses or whatever they are doing. But I think it's so great to see that we are alive again and we're doing things and moving around. So that's what's going on.
Oh, that's good to hear. And it's really, as you said, really nice to see people talking to each other, laughing, like really in live offices, restaurants, whatever, wherever people are. But guess what? I just heard that we have someone calling, and that is our takeaway critic, and his name is Håkan Latvasokka. Let's have a look, or let's hear what he has to say.
Håkan Latvasokka, ruokanoutokriitikko. ruoan noutaminenhan otetaan usein itsestäänselvyytenä, mutta oletteko koskaan tullut ajatelleeksi, että aivan kuten hyvä ruoka on elämys, voi sen noutaminen itsessään olla kokemus? Se koostuu monista eri tekijöistä, kuten saapumisen sujuvuudesta, saavutettavuudesta, ilmapiiri. Se noutotapahtuma, se on kokonaisvaltainen kokemus. Ei sitä voi lähestyä kuin festari kävi ja roiskeläppäiltä hyllystä suuhun ja uuteen nousuun. Vaan se nouttamistapahtuma pitää kokea ja tuntea kaikilla aisteilla. Tarjoamasta, haptisuudesta, maksamisen jouhevuudesta. Kun nämä asiat ovat optimaalisesti jiirissä, voidaan todeta, että voihan vietävä miten syötävä.
Voihan vietävä miten syötävä. That is Finnish, and I'm not going to translate it word by word. But hey, Anna, we just heard that your food critic is going for your new Food and Go takeaway meals. What is that product all about?
That is a product that we just launched. It's first of all, it's meals that are made by our own chefs. That we are very proud of, and you can find there is a whole family of different meals where you can find your meatballs and mashed potatoes to really delicious vegetarian lasagna, and this is something that you can now find in all our restaurants, and this is also something new that we see that people are. As Nico and said, that people are moving around through the day in different hours. So what we saw is that we need to have also something outside our lunch hours, so that if you want to have an earlier lunch, you can then grab something quick, or if you are not able to enjoy the lunch when it's served, you can actually have lunch afterwards. And then for me, actually, these products are the best thing, because when I sit in my last meeting and I'm like, oh no, I don't have anything in the freezer, and I will have 2 very hungry children when I get home, and a very grumpy husband also. And nowadays I can just, grab these meals from the office and just go home and be like, dinner is served.
That sounds like a plan, and for me as well. I always say that I don't have time to eat, but now when you can grab it whenever it's suitable for me, so it's like really handy. But let's involve our gentlemen from the chairs as well. Nico, the first question is for you. We know that I've learned that you have, as you said, you have just launched a new cabinet pilot market that is open 24/7. What kind of added value do you give for the clients or for the users that are using your facilities?
I think the first and foremost is the convenience. I mean, we respect their ideas of the working hours. As I said, I mean, it's not this year anymore to sort of nicely persuade or even force people to eat at a certain time. I mean, we are moving towards 24/7 world anyways. So it is a convenience, it is a service, and it is actually something that the customers have demanded from us. So I think it is a very good that we can now together with Compass to actually offer that service.
Anna, how do you see the potential of these kind of services that you can?
I think, as Nico said, I think these 24/7 markets that we are bringing now to the market are a great example of us doing these studies and having an open conversation with our customers and our clients on what are the needs. And as we see that there are many offices where you work in very different hours and so on, and that's where we can actually bring these quick and fast solutions, so that when you, if you sit at the office in the evening and you suddenly get this feeling of, I'm really hungry, I need some fuel, you can actually go down to the market and just grab something, or as I do, grab something for home, and then you're like good to go.
Yes, indeed. Christian, you talked about the trends that are driving your services, and we've talked mainly about around the food. But what about the other things like cleaning and other multi-services? How is that going to be?
Let me answer that one briefly because I want to say something on the food for the 24/7 market. I mean, having a 24/7 market is one thing, but of course, the reason to have it in many of the cases we work with is because of the food. So the food is the center of the 24/7 market, and without the food, the whole thing will collapse, right? And I think this is important because people can get their food also in a supermarket. That's not the problem. This is real food that is made by our chefs, so it's hopefully a different level than what you are able to cook at home. So I just wanted to say that on the 24/7. The non-food related part, though, I think Nico, you put it well. There are many cleaning companies out there, or receptionist companies, and they often have a technical or an engineering background, and you get to feel this if you are a customer, right? You will. It feels different, and we have that hospitality, that customer experience background that we want to bring in there. So I think our strength is creating these customer experiences that go beyond food and integrate and make it a holistic experience. And then, of course, it's also simpler and easier for a client to work with just one person that takes holistic care of everything than having a couple of different providers that have a bit of a technical approach to things.
Rickard, you talked about really inspired way about digitalization. How do you see technology integrating into people's life more and more? We still need to eat, we still need to clean, or is technology taking over everywhere?
No, I think technology is not taking over. I think the final slide that I shared, I mentioned digitally enabled hospitality, and I think that's the key. It's not about digital hospitality, it's about digitally enabled hospitality. And for us, people really are absolutely critical and vital in providing our products and our offering, and they will always be important. We can definitely cook a meal digitally, but it's not very good to eat. Yeah, so it's really about digitally enabled hospitality. That's what we're striving for. So the tech should not be in your face. It should really be something that helps us create new ways of offering our core product, which is food or other services.
Super interesting. I just came back from Japan, and I think like 10 years ago, Japan, they were a lot ahead Europe, but now I think Europe is taking over. How do you see this?
I think there are things to learn from every market, right? So in some areas, Japan, yes, they were early in many things, and I think they're probably still early in some areas, right? But it's more about collaboration across markets to learn what is the best practice, how do we make best use of it. So, and I think there will be many good things coming out of Japan in the next years to come as well.
Yeah, definitely.
But we are definitely in the race in Europe to be at the top as well.
Yeah, and it's about, as you said, sharing the experience and developing for each and every user wherever you are around the world.
Yes, and I mean, Kristen and I, we had a call yesterday morning with Asia Pacific, talking actually about Japan as well, and it's about creating those opportunities to share and learn from each other.
Indeed. Thank you so much. Super interesting, as mentioned already many times. But I think it's time to move forward, and our next topic is sustainability and CSR. And I would like to, we start the discussion about the whole Compass Group's sustainability approach, goals and concrete examples, and then we deep dive a little bit more to Finnish operations, ambitions, and of course some examples. And at this point, I would like to invite our next guest, who is online, via remote connection, and he is Susan Meal, Regional Director of Corporate Responsibility, Compass Group Europe and Middle East. Susan, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Hopefully you can hear me too.
Yes, and we can also see you. Wonderful. How are you doing?
Things working.
Technology is working perfectly. Where are you at the moment?
So I don't want to make you all jealous, but I'm calling in from my hometown, which is in Spain, in Mallorca.
Oh, that sounds warm and sunny.
Just a few degrees. Just a few degrees warmer than Helsinki, probably.
Definitely, and probably sunny and not rainy. But please, we would like to hear your presentation, please.
Very good, thank you. Can you see the slides? Or should I share them here?
I don't think we can see them yet.
Okay, I'll share them. I thought somebody was going to share them, but hold on. One moment, please.
I will let you know when we can see them, but no rush. Take your time. Oh, there they are. Yes. Now we can see them, Susan.
Excellent.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Perfect. So I'm going to give you a brief introduction to our corporate responsibility and sustainability approach, and also a few highlights from last year. So our global sustainability strategy is focused on where we can have the biggest positive impact. It's all underpinned by our safety culture, but we center our sustainability strategy on 3 key pillars: health and well-being, environmental game changers, and better for the world. Within those, our key priorities are caring for people and protecting the planet. We'll go into more detail a bit later on and the specific actions within those, but our people are our key ingredient. They're at the heart of everything we do. We really never take for granted our diverse and amazing talent, and it's our responsibility to keep our people and those working across our value chains safe and well. When it comes to protecting the planet, we have 3 core environmental objectives which we're purposely fast tracking. And they are reducing our carbon footprint, reducing food waste, and ensuring our food is sourced with care for both people and planet. So for Compass, caring for people and planet is really more than a set of targets and metrics. It's how we do business. It's embedded in our culture and embraced by our people. And these that you can see on the slide now are the commitments we made as Compass Group within our Planet Promise last October. We were really proud to have been the first international company in the contract catering industry to publish a worldwide commitment to reach climate net zero by 2050. And to achieve our net zero ambitions, we're adopting different approaches in different countries because each market is at a different stage. Some countries like France and the UK and Ireland are moving at a quicker pace. And I must say the Nordics are really very close behind. We also aim to halve food waste across the group by 2030. And as you can see, we've set responsible sourcing commitments on several items. So that's sustainable palm oil, sustainably sourced fish and seafood, cage-free eggs, and higher chicken welfare. And what are we focusing on to achieve this? Well, once again, it comes down to caring for people and protecting the planet. So in terms of people, keeping everyone safe is always our top priority, and helping clients and consumers make better, healthier choices is also at the top of the agenda. We'll continue to drive more and more local and social purchasing and build diverse, engaged, and inclusive teams. One good example of this within our region, so that's Europe and Middle East, is our Planet Chef scheme in France, where prospective employees can enter a 2-year chef apprenticeship program, as well as adding additional skills in things like the French language, literacy, and numeracy. In the Netherlands, we also have a prize-winning partnership with the Colour Kitchen, where we offer socially distanced people the chance to train and develop in our kitchens. Now, if we move to protecting the planet, we're already working hard towards reducing our carbon footprint in all countries. We're constantly adding more and more healthy menu items and reformulating recipes with less salt, fat, sugar, and less food waste. And we're working with clients on labeling to help them make more informed and better choices, just trying to nudge them towards more plant-based protein, local produce, and organic products. Reducing packaging and plastics is another key area we take seriously, and we work really hard to test and scale packaging innovations that avoid plastic and virgin materials while keeping food safe and within a sustainable shelf life. Responsible sourcing is another huge priority for us, and on that point, on the 1st of August this year, we issued a new global supplier code of conduct, which sets out minimum standards expected from all suppliers we partner with. You can see some of the pages here on the bottom right. This replaces our previous code, but now includes more complete standards around areas like business integrity, ethics, human rights, and labor standards. The environment, of course, reducing food waste, as well as supporting local communities and helping them develop skills. We're also working actively with suppliers to find ways to produce more food with less water, land, waste. We're investing in some in-store vertical farming solutions in some of our units, and entering also into partnerships like in France with regenerative agricultural farms. Now, we're just in the process of finalizing our 2022 results, so I can't disclose those yet, I'm afraid, but I did just want to call out some of our 2021 achievements. Now, health and safety, as I mentioned earlier, underpins everything we do. And as you can see, we've got some great results to prove it. Now, 87% of sites offered at least one healthy meal choice last year. And we're doing so much to nudge consumer behavior towards healthier, more sustainable meals. And we trained and continue training our chefs to be more plant-forward in their menu planning. Now, it's not mentioned here, but just in the US alone, over 1 million e-learning training sessions were completed by our employees, not to mention the other 40 countries. And our size doesn't mean we go less local. Our procurement is done locally. So it does mean we can make a bigger social impact. In fact, we've increased our spend with local suppliers and social enterprises, which enables greater reinvestment into social causes. Over 500 million products were purchased by Compass from local and minority suppliers last year, and we'll continue to increase that number. On sites recording food waste, we managed to reduce waste by a whopping 28%. And we continue to roll out smart waste tracking system across the globe. That's still going to be a huge focus this coming year and the years to come. And last but not least, a year ago, we issued our Planet Promise, which encompasses our values as an ethical, sustainable, and inclusive business, and our mission to have a positive impact on the world. It's when we committed to reaching net zero across the entire value chain by 2050. So there's a lot going on. Now, I'm conscious of time, and I did want to provide you with a couple more concrete examples of how we're making the most of digital and technology to help us with our climate actions. So the first example is going to be from France, the largest Compass business in our region, and the second is a bit closer to home for you, from Denmark. So, moving straight into our first example, our French team has used a startup called Trace to help them build their Le Pacte roadmap, which is their commitment to actually reach net zero sooner than group's target, and they're aiming for 2040. Now, one of the great things that Trace helps us with is preparing forward-looking action plans for our sites to monitor emissions, simulate action plans, and then track progress. Sorry, skipped a few slides. Okay, they have a 4-step methodology. Firstly, they measure your baseline carbon footprint, then analyze and simulate the impact of specific actions on your footprint with an aim of reaching your objectives. After that, you come up with a very specific and achievable action plan in conjunction with your customers and your local teams. And lastly, you track and monitor progress, adjust where needed, and then you can communicate emission reductions as you go. Now, this is a working example. We at Compass France co-created with Trace for a large tender in France. And the tender was to provide food service for a whole municipality of schools. And the municipality is interested in reducing emissions. With the aid of this very specific action plan, based on some of the key food items they currently purchase, we could offer to provide them with carbon neutral food service for the whole municipality of schools by 2030. And that was with meals produced from a central kitchen, or a CPU, however you like to call it. You can see here that the key items to reduce are the animal proteins. And then there are quite a lot of product substitutions to move to more sustainable foods. And in this case, making these very specific changes by 2030 will mean a reduction in emissions of 30 to 40%. And there is, of course, still time to make additional actions as we progress throughout the years. Then if we look at the actual client sites, there are another series of actions that can be taken, such as how the waste is treated or how employees commute. And also looking at the energy at the client site and making it greener. So these, again, are all items that over time will be quantified and put into action. And to support that journey, Trace provides a whole series of smart analytics to monitor progress and spread accountability across different areas of the business. Now, Marketa, our Senior Manager for Sustainability in Finland, will be giving you some more information about what the Finnish team is also doing along these similar lines. And now moving on to the second and last best practice example I'm going to show you today. Our innovation and digital development team in Denmark have recently developed a dashboard that is proving to be a real hit with both clients and our operations, as it's fully data-driven and provides really great transparency. So now I'm going to attempt to project the live dashboard. But if the connection fails at all, we do have some slides ready, just in case. but let me try. Seems to work. Good. Just a second, I'll just try and put it into full screen. Okay, so now this is a fully integrated dashboard built in Power BI, and it provides real-time live data. So it covers all areas of the business, not only sustainability. And clients have the option to select parameters and insights from a range of options. And the design and data can be customized to the client's need within a range. Now, it's a unique opportunity to create transparency and trust. So it really does help us to have a true partnership with our clients. It's currently in place across 30 clients in Denmark, and the number is growing all the time. Today, our extremely important client, Novo Nordisk, who's particularly focused on sustainable actions, amongst other things, has given us permission to show you their dashboard. And it is quite a complex case as we operate many of their sites. So the first thing you can see on this dashboard is the personalized look and feel of it, with logos and images relevant to the client's business. And if you look at Novo's website, you'll see a very similar look and feel. Next, you can see there are different sections to the dashboard, including service level performance, HSE, human resources, innovation, and performance overview. Now, to save time, I'm going to give you a deep dive into the areas just linked to sustainability today. So we have a number of items linked to sustainability. And the great thing about this dashboard as well is we can look at one individual site here at the top, or we can drill down into one of the individual sites. And we've got also buildings. So again, you can pick a site and a building or any combination, or all of them, which is what I'm going to do today. So let me go into one of these. So here we've got the checklist, and you can see there's quite a lot of different KPIs here. Some of these are related to sustainability and some are related to other things. We've got things on dishes and consumables. We've got food waste, packaging, and then there's the nutritional requirement, for example. So this can be very customized according to your needs. Just a second, finding the next one I'm going to have a look at, which is food waste. So here we've got food waste, which is also a very interesting one to look at. We can see here at the top of the screen, we've got the total food waste for this year. We've also got the monthly tracking of food waste. You can see here the kilos that we're wasting every month as we go through the month. And then here on the pie chart, we can see what type of food waste we have in volume. So we can see that this section here, the purple section, is actually the plate waste. Sorry, it's all in Danish. So that's plate waste, and then we've got mixed production waste is next here. So we know exactly what the areas are that we need to focus on. Then I'm just going to take you through the organic level as well, which I think can be quite interesting on the sustainability side. So we can see exactly how much organic produce we're using. And you can see the volumes purchased. And in the case of Denmark, they're targeting to reach 30% of our organic produce. In this case, you can see here in the middle of the page, they're actually exceeding that and have between 35 and 45%, depending on the month, of organic produce, which is a really good amount. And on the right, you can see which groups of items that organic purchase consists of. So you've got, first of all, dairy. So that's taking up half of the products. But then there's this white area, which you can't actually see particularly well because it's white, but that is the fruit and veg section. So I think that's all really useful information for you to have. And there's so much we could show you on this dashboard, but just to finish with, I'm going to show you the CO2 section, the carbon section, which I think is of interest to many companies right now. And here on the top left, we get a good breakdown of CO2 emissions per food category. And also down on the bottom left, the split of what is driving those emissions, where we can see that the main drivers are agriculture and food processing, these two here. Now in the pie chart, you can see the top 10 products for CO2 reduction, which in this case, and probably no surprise to anybody, are beef and veal in purple, which are almost, in fact, they are, almost half the emissions, and milk in white. Then, of course, in the bottom right, it's great to see the overall downward trend in emissions, which is looking really good since it has been tracked more closely, because I think this tool really gives us good visibility of the emissions and what to attack. And that's all I intend showing you today, but I'm sure our Danish team would be more than happy to show you the dashboard in more detail, or I can, or anybody else from our team can, if anybody is interested in it.
Thank you, Susan.
Just let me take that off. There we go. Try and stop sharing if I can.
That was also extremely interesting. I would have one question for you, and that would be, Compass Group is operating in 44 different countries. What is the difference in terms of operating in sustainability in those countries, different countries? Do they vary, or can you see the difference?
Yeah, I mean, I touched on it earlier. Every country is really at a different stage, as you might expect. Our largest countries, the UK and Ireland, USA, France and Australia, they're making some really good progress and are well on the way with their commitments and roadmaps and setting many very specific actions to decarbonize. Then there are a group of medium-sized countries, amongst them the Nordic countries, Benelux and Germany, who are progressing but still have quite a lot more to do to finalize their net zero commitments and roadmaps. But they're all taking really good steps already to decarbonize and head towards at least carbon neutrality as a start. And then, of course, there's a long tail of smaller countries, obviously with a lower impact for group and for the emissions, but most of them have not yet started mapping out their journey to net zero, but following the work that's already done by group and also by the larger countries, We do obviously know already what the high impact areas are. So again, they're already taking measures to A, raise awareness, B, track food waste, and also obviously change things that they can change quite easily, like their vehicle fleets. They're changing to fossil free where they can. And of course, produce more and more climate friendly meals. And all this is really a great start and where they will impact groups and our clients' emissions the most.
Thank you so much, Susan. Enjoy the sunny and warm Spain. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. And now it's time to talk about how things are done here in Finland. And on the studio we have Marketta Viljasaari, a senior manager of sustainability in Compass Group Finland. And you have built a roadmap which is quite aiming to be high, reaching carbon neutrality.
Oh yes,
Yes.
yes, we have a aim to be carbon neutral in Finland by 2030. And what is really special and ambitious about that goal is covering our own emissions, so-called scopes 1 and 2, but also our value chain, which is called scope 3. So also the food products, and that is really ambitious because we know that food has a great impact on climate, and it's really important issue for all of us, of course. And out of our own emissions, 99% actually comes from value chain. So it's important that we focus on our own actions, of course, but that's only 1% of our carbon footprint. So it's very important that we work on the value chain issues from which food is obviously the biggest impact. And there we worked with our suppliers and built roadmaps together also with them, but we already have a roadmap of our own. And there are actions like Susan already mentioned, vehicles, electrifying them and moving them to hybrid, reducing food waste, menu planning. For instance, vegetarian food is served every day in our restaurants, and we are increasing that, but also plant-forward meals. So vegetarian, or then if you want to take that choice to just increase the amount of vegetables on your plate.
Sounds good. Can you provide some concrete examples how your clients and consumers can benefit your focused activities?
Yes, if we start with consumers, first of all, they get this tasty and attractive food from our restaurants, which is always sustainable. For instance, 100% sustainable fish, which means that all caught and farmed fish is sustainable. For instance, cage-free eggs in shell eggs, 100%. Susan mentioned organic products. We have 100% organic skimmed milk. And then when we talk about climate, as a novelty, we have information on our menus. We are marking those meals from which, if you take a portion, we have buffet restaurants. If you take a portion, the average carbon footprint of that portion is below 1 kilogram. And we have that marked on the menus. And in many of our restaurants, we also have these happy green stickers to show you the way to climate-friendly choices. So that's a great benefit for our customers as well. And for the contract clients, we are a part of their journey towards sustainability goals and carbon neutrality. And for instance, with Bank of Finland, we cooperated in defining what kind of part the restaurant, their staff restaurants plays in their whole carbon footprint for that organization. And when we talk about, for instance, cleaning services, then there are eco-friendly detergents. So there is a lot we are doing.
In terms of speaking about the customers, how well aware are they about this? I mean, you are a little bit ahead probably, but are people already aware of everything? They really look for the healthier options and
yes.
that are, yeah.
Yeah, they are looking for the healthier options, and I think it's growing awareness of what is good for you is also normally good for the planet. But I think those little green stickers that we are quite proud of on our menus, that's showing the way for our clients. That's the feedback that we've gotten. That we also provide the exact number of carbon footprint for meals, but what they are wanting is the way forward. So just an easy way when you're in the buffet, an easy way to choose.
You have also high standards for responsible sourcing how does it show in your operations then?
Well, we have very important guidelines. It's safety first, so food safety, of course, sustainability, seasonality, domesticity. For instance, we have food ingredients which are 60 to 70% domestic, so coming from Finland. And actually just yesterday we got renewed our key flag sign, which is avainlippu, key flag sign showing that we have such great impact in Finland through our procurement. So 60 to 70% of our food ingredients comes from Finland. And in terms of sustainability, otherwise we've talked about the climate, we talk about environment, but also traceability in our supply chain, transparency. We have a code of conduct defining how to prevent human trafficking, child labor, all those very important human rights issues also within our supply chain.
Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Marketta. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I would like to invite Hannu again on stage. It goes so quickly, the time. It has 1.5 hours has gone like this. We have learned so much about the trends, the rapid changes of the customers and consumers' needs, and then the digitalization, how rapidly and quickly that is also developing. And then, of course, big important topic, sustainability. You talked about these in the beginning of this webinar. Now when you have heard everything we've heard today and learned today, what are your thoughts now? How are you going to receive and approach your visions that you showed and told us?
Well, first of all, I would like to first thank all of our guest speakers here in the music hall and obviously all of you online. I really hope that every one of us and there had some really good examples of the concrete things that we could do together and some food for thought for the future. I thought this is a clever way of saying we are food passionate companies, so food for
we
thought.
We definitely are.
Really thought this through. But to be honest, I honestly would like to highlight this last theme what we are discussing here, and this is the serious thing what we are talking about. We all know how things are related to climate change, and that's real. So I would like to actually throw a question or a kind of a challenge to all of us that how together we could really be a little bit more radical in our experiments and pilots when going forward. I think the good thing is now that we really have the data, as you see, so that's not a problem anymore. So it's about making the real concrete actions that makes a difference. It's about increasing the consumption of plant-based meals and obviously decreasing the waste. Those are the two main drivers. And we know for a fact that the carbon footprint in Finland due to the food value chain is around 29%. It was just, by the way, also in the newspapers just this week. So that's a fact. So it's more that how do we work together and do some more radical, concrete experiments and pilots there.
If you talk the talk, you got to walk the walk.
Yes, exactly.
That's how it goes.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Hannu.
This is more like a start than an end.
Definitely. Super interesting. Thank you so much. And thank you, as said, thank you for all the speakers, keynote speakers, the experts, and thank you for watching us. If you didn't have time to watch it whole broadcast, you can do it later as well. For all registered viewers, we sent a link, and also you can find the link from the webpage compassgroup.fi. Have a lovely Thursday and rest of the week, and by now we say thank you.